And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry-shod. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men, okay? Wake up to who publishes these books and keeps us warring with one another. Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there, and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this, because it's making me absolutely sick that he is so bold that he dare sit near Charlie Kirk's chair, that he dare grace that stage when Charlie Kirk knew exactly what Ben Shapiro was.
For the Lord comes with
As
fire.
for the likeness of the living creatures, their
with
appearance
flames
was like
of
burning
judgment.
coals of fire. Were like flaming fire.
None shall escape. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up. That the appearance of it is as the appearance of horse. That all he that trusteth in God This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against thee. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their bodies.
What the hell? 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 What the hell?
2 o'clock this morning, though the aliens aren't scheduled to arrive before noon.
What the hell? 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 What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
This ain't no
What the
joke.
hell? What the 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 hell?
Look at that.
What the hell?
Hell yeah.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Man, it's
What the
all
hell?
the way down there.
What the hell?
See? One right after the other.
What the hell?
And then there's this bad boy.
What the hell? 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 What the hell?
I don't know if we're going to
What
make
the
it.
hell? What the hell?
Agent
What the hell?
just walked across Ray Lane's, the creek area, and literally fell 6 feet down in a hole. Luckily, he survived.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Yo. You guys can hang out at mine. I'm close to here. Kind of meant cold.
What the hell? 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 What the hell?
A powerful Pacific storm paired with an atmospheric river unleashed relentless rainfall across Redding and much of Northern California, overwhelming rivers, creeks and drainage systems, and setting off widespread flooding that rapidly escalated into a dangerous regional emergency.
Right here off of Parsons and Bocelli in Redding. I got this little thing happening. Look, the sidewalk's right there.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Into the hands of spoilers. God gave them from out of his hands to the hands of spoilers, meaning the hands of another race of people or other races. Read on. That spoiled them. Then they got spoiled by those people, meaning robbed, tricked, etc. Read on. And he sold them. And he did what? And he sold them. Whose history does it sound like so far? Who did that happen to?
Slaves, black people.
Slaves, so-called black people.
Faces went bright red when I said I can't play low mind tricks on a Jedi. Hello, my name's Light 2. Because of my life I've been lied to. I was taught I'm a Canaanite, not true. I was taught I'm a Hamite, not true. I was taught I'm cargo, not true. My ancestors sin brought hot soup. Now we're waking up, time to regroup. Babylon cause the day's due. We're the people of the book. Sit down, take a look. That's why they hate you. Yeshua was a Negro with dark hue. Deuteronomy said we'd be slaves too. Return to Yah, get the breakthrough. If not, be despised, but it take two. I love you, so don't be a castaway. And when you wake up, I come and think.
To set you free from the people that are taking every single thing away from you every day. And you wake up every day, you get dressed, and you continue the cycle. That cycle will be broken once the truth is brought to your ears. And you understand who God is. And you understand the purpose of this Bible. Go back to Matthew chapter 20.
But you gonna need some action behind it. Searching for the truth from hope.
And in the Bible it said for 100 years that was, it said people would be in bondage in the country that you would be strangers in for 400 years. This is 401. 1619. 1619. That's when slavery started. 1619. Here we are in 2020. Now going on. I have to be like, I feel like this is ordained.
This is biblical. I'm going to repeat that. This is biblical. These are biblical people. If they weren't, why are they in the Bible?
If God didn't want you to see this, then why did he write it? He did it because it has to do with his story. I'm saying, your forefathers, what could they? Don't miss this. Because 98% of everybody out there believes that their roots starts in Africa. So they call themselves Black African Americans. And really what they should be talking themselves is they are what? The Hebrews and the Jews of the original temple of the city of David. You wonder why you're hated. Because it's what's in your blood. See, you don't know who you are. And even as I tell the black culture, it's like, no, don't bring it up. And so what I do with my big mouth, I bring it up. Why should you be ashamed of your culture?
We really chasing freedom to hell with a bigger dipper. Picking up the Bible instead of picking the brick up. War ready, let the spirit of the Lord equip us. Fit for the battle like we ain't getting an army. Tell the rest to slow they roll for they wind up getting the hiccup.
And I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria.
And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.